All right, welcome to the Purpose Driven Mom Show, episode 383. Today I'm sharing with you a guest presentation I'm doing for a summit that's coming out next year. So this is not aired anywhere else yet. And it's all about how I've used AI as a tool to help plan out my business. I know a lot of times new business owners, you're sitting there staring at the blank cursor, figuring out what are you supposed to do. I want to show you how you can use ChatGPT to make it easier. This isn't to replace your brain. This is to assist it. You have so many things going on. And a lot of times we don't even know what we don't know. So in this presentation, and again, if you're listening on the podcast, I highly recommend you link over to the YouTube because you can take screenshots of all of these prompts. Okay. And we're going to have it linked up at purposedrivenmom.com/podcast 383 or just below here in the show notes. Go and watch it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is what we want to bring you more visual stuff. And again, screenshot all of these prompts I'm going to give you. I want you to start thinking about your business in 2024 and thinking about how you can use this to get ahead. Work smarter, right? Not harder. Show notes are at purposedrivenmom.com/podcast 383. Enjoy this presentation and let me know what you think. Super excited to chat with you today on how to use AI to organize, plan, and get things done in your business. My name is Cara Harvey. I'm a productivity coach for work-at-home moms, and I'm going to show you how I've been able to use my Dream, Learn, Plan, Do framework and couple it together with AI to work smarter and not harder. If you've been in business for even a day, you've probably heard of ChatGPT. That's the tool we're going to talk about today. This is a tool that can make things work faster for you because I always tell people we're stuck staring at the blank cursor. We don't know where to get started. And if that has felt like you, don't worry. I've got you today, okay? Things that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about how to make a vision for your business using AI, in particular ChatGPT. I'm going to talk to you about how you can use it to figure out a learning plan. You know, all those things you don't know yet in your business. We're going to figure out how we can know what we don't know and make a plan for it. We're going to talk about how to make standard operating procedures, workflows, task breakdowns, and how to make sure you're managing your time more efficiently because of what the AI has taught you. If this sounds like you're in the right spot, okay? Have you ever sat down and thought, I just don't even know what to do? I have all this time, my kid's finally napping. What am I supposed to be doing? Or maybe you've thought like, I want to work on my business. I want to make progress in all of the things, but like, I'm just overwhelmed. Or I'm not sure how to help people. Like, I know that I want to help them with this idea, but do they even want that? Or I just don't know how to make my business work. Have you ever thought I'm just struggling to figure out how to keep things organized so I feel like I'm wasting time? If you've ever been in any of these boats, trust me, I understand. I've been there, and I'm going to show you how I've started in the past year to use the AI with my frameworks as a tool to make things just a ton easier. I'm Cara Harvey. I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. I was a school teacher for 10 years, and I absolutely loved what I did, except I started to burn out. I was working 60 hours a week. I wasn't putting any time in for me. And what I realized was I needed to figure out a system to help me do exactly this, work smarter, not harder. So I got into network marketing. That's how I got started on my journey. And I did that full time for about 2 years. And listen, on the outside, it looked very successful, right? I had 250 people on my team, 6-figure business. But then on the inside, I realized that I was doing all the same things that burnt me out in teaching, carrying my laptop around. I had to get to inbox zero before bed. I was neglecting my family. And so about 6 years ago now, I decided to switch gears and I started what we call a purpose-driven mom. And my mission here at APDM is to help work-at-home moms figure out how they can work on their personal goals, manage their homes and their families, while growing, starting, or scaling an online business without sacrificing themselves, without feeling like they have to hustle all the time, and without the shame that can often come accompanied with that mom guilt, right? I'm the author of the book, The 15-Minute Formula, How Busy Moms Can Ditch the Guilt, Say Yes to What Matters, and Conquer Their Goals. And I'm the host of the internationally top-ranked podcast, The Purpose-Driven Mom Show. And I've been there. I understand what it's like to start a business and not know what to do. And AI is obviously a newer tool for all of us in the online space, but the past year I've started to incorporate it in my goal setting programs, and it has been so much fun to allow myself to just think out of the box. Sometimes we stare at our business for so long, it doesn't make sense to us. We get so stuck in what we think it's supposed to be. And I have figured out how to use AI as a tool that makes me feel a little bit more in control, all right? So I want you to ask yourself a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how clear would you say you are right now with what your business looks like day to day? What we're going to do is hopefully take you from a 1 to a 3 or a 3 to a 5 or a 5 to a 7. I want to give you some tips that are going to help the day-to-day ins and outs of your business feel easier, That's always the goal. How can we set up systems? I'm a systems junkie. I want to show you how you can set up systems to make things feel much more aligned. All right. Now I want to talk to you about why AI. And in particular, ChatGPT is what I'm going to show you because ChatGPT is one of my favorite free tools. And I work with a lot of newer entrepreneurs who are getting in the startup. So they don't have a lot of money to invest. So I want to show you why you can use ChatGPT and AI and how it can make it easier. When I was a school teacher, I taught English and I taught special education, and a lot of my kids had learning disabilities. And we would be writing paragraphs. They had to work on their senior project, essays, and they would always feel stuck because they didn't know what to write. And I would tell them it's the start that stops us. So one of the things I started to do was I started to put sentence starters, like paragraphs, like in addition, for example, secondly, right, onto their desk. It was taped on their desk. And so when they were writing, they didn't have to think of every idea. They would have a little bit of a head start. I could just pick one of these words and then my brain can move. I find it is very similar in my business. Sometimes when I'm staring at the blank cursor, I just don't know. And here's what's so interesting. I think we know as business owners, in our hearts and our minds, we know what we want to do. We know how we want to help people. We know what we want it to look like, right? But when it's time to open up the laptop and start working, we get so stuck because we're just staring at the blank screen. My hope for you is that you can see the prompts, and I'm going to give you lots of prompts today. You can see the prompts that I'm going to give you as a tool. Now, I want to say this as well. AI is a tool. It is not a replacement for you. There are people who need what you have to give. All right. There's all this controversy about AI taking over, things like I'm an author, right? I'm not worried about it. Why? Because it is not a human being. It is a great tool, just like my calendar or my planner is a tool, right? Just like Trello, which is something I'll show you a little bit of today. It is a tool that's going to help me figure out how to work smarter in my business. You need to customize. Don't just copy, paste, and think you're done. You need to go through the thought process. Now, the other thing I want to say before we get started is I'm going to show you a couple ways of keeping organized, but I also am going to make sure that I stop on each slide if you want to take a screenshot. The screenshots are going to have the prompts that you can put in. If you've never used ChatGPT, don't worry about it. I'm also going to show you how to do it in ChatGPT, but I just want you to know, as I'm going through, take that screenshot. Use these prompts for later. Save them for later, all right? Now, here are some tips for using ChatGPT in particular. If you've never seen it, I'm going to click over to it. This is what ChatGPT looks like, right? You can click a new chat up at the top, and they give you a ton of prompts. So you could go in and you could search different prompts, right? One-click course creator, Instagram post carousel content. There are so many templates. If you just kind of search through, it will really help you not have to think. If I'm going to write Facebook ads, I would go to here. Cool, let's talk about a Facebook ad hook. Help me out. Because I don't want to waste time trying to figure out what to do when I can get a tool that will help me figure out my next steps, okay? So there's tons of prompts you can search through here. You just go through your topic and you go here, but you can also give them your own. So when you're down here, and I'm currently using the free plan because I want to make sure that anything I show you, you can do on the free plan, but I would recommend you upgrade. It's not that expensive to upgrade because you can change a lot of different styles. You get more prompts and things like that. I think it's like $20 a month. Okay. But when you're here, like I said, you can change the tone, the writing style. There's all different ones for output. You're going to type in a prompt and it's going to give you a few things. Now, here is my recommendations. Let's head back to these slides. One is first, before we do any of these, you need to tell ChatGPT who you want it to be. Okay. Pretend you are a online course creator who helps work at home moms manage their time, home, families, and business, right? Tell it who you want to be. The more that you use ChatGPT, the more it will get to know your specific business, okay? So you have to just give it some time. You're going to want to be very specific. Like I just said, tell it exactly who to be. Don't give yes or no, right? Open-ended. I'm interested in finding out 10 podcast title ideas for helping moms get their newborns to sleep, right? Open-ended. Also, you're going to want to experiment with the different prompts. So I'm going to give you specific prompts, but again, look at all these ones here. Scroll through, look at the different ones that you have. Search things, to figure it out. If you're trying to, let's see, use LinkedIn, Here we go. We've got LinkedIn. So just search through, try different prompts until you kind of get what you're looking for. You're also going to want to, again, set the tone. Give me this in a motivational way. Give me this concisely, however you want to be, and give it the constraints. I would like this in an outline form. Please give me 10 of these things. And again, ask for multiple options and also expanding. If you like something, say you did that example I just gave you, give me 10 podcast title ideas for a parenting coach, or I can't remember what I said, but pretend that's what it is, for a parenting coach of toddlers. If you like that, you can then say, great, thank you. I always use the manners, right? Can you give me more that sound like, and copy the one that you like? Number 3. Potty training tips. Can you give me 10 more here? Continue to expand on it. The other tip I'm just going to give you before we dive into prompts, because this is kind of going to be a fast and furious presentation, is timers. Use a timer. You could get sucked into ChatGPT, so you're going to want to really use a timer to figure out where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing, so that you're not going down that rabbit hole, okay? Now, I want to really quickly show you my Dream, Learn, Plan, Do framework. This is the framework I use whenever I'm working on a new project. And today I'm going to walk and give you a ton of prompts based on Dream, Learn, Plan, and Do. A lot of times new entrepreneurs will get into their business and they'll just want to go to the do. Just let me do the thing. But if you don't spend time dreaming, what do you want it to look like? Learning, figuring out what you don't know. Planning, creating workflows, doing, making your batches. When it is time to get started, you're not going to know what to do. So I'm going to walk you through this process and show you parallel of how it works with my method, okay? Before we get there, I just want to show you how to keep it organized. You could use a Google Doc, whatever. I use Trello. And what I really like about Trello, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, for example. I was making this presentation and I used ChatGPT. And so let's see if this will load for me. It's taking a second. Hold on. Let me go into a different one and see if that one's okay. So this was one that I did for a client of mine. We were on a coaching call, and this was what she needed. I'm a business owner who helps preschool, early elementary moms. I want to come up with a product I can sell for $5 that works any time of the year. Can you give me 20 ideas? And on the coaching call, we asked it. And what I want to show you is really cool is you can just copy what you've got here and paste it in wherever you want. Now, you can do a doc. I really like Trello. Trello is a free tool that you can use. And the reason I like it is because I can make a list here. Like, let's pretend this is ChatGPT prompts here. I can just hit add a card, put it in, and it's going to ask me, hey, do you want to make 3 cards? And it will copy and paste over exactly what ChatGPT told me. And then if I want, I can just 3 dots, I'll archive that list because this way I don't lose it. Yes, I could come back into my ChatGPT and I could read it, but I would rather have it in front of me. Okay, so I want you to just think of how you want to keep it organized. All right, let's jump into some prompts, shall we? Dream phase 1. Actually, let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see. There we go. It all on one page. So in the dream phase, you might ask yourself, who do you want to help? Here are some example prompts. Again, take that screenshot that you could put in that would give you so much information. And again, why do we do this in the dream phase? Because if you're going through and really doing market research and content planning, when it's time to record that YouTube video, you know what to do, right? So inside, the way you'll see these is if it's in brackets, you're going to fill in the blank for your specific niche or whatever it is, right? So I work with ideal client to help them, things you help them with, and I ultimately achieve what's the goal. Who are my main competitors? Why do you want to do this? Because this is going to help you see what other people are doing to get ideas. Maybe you don't even know what your business idea is. Identify 10 niches that'd be interested in purchasing whatever my service is. What are some pain points of my niche, right? I help moms who want to live a toxin-free lifestyle. What are their pain points? What is this telling me? It's going to tell me the content for my podcast, my YouTube, my social media. What's a really fun one is you do a buyer persona. So if you tell it a little bit about who you want to help, really get in there, it'll give you this whole buyer persona about that person. And whenever you're writing content, you can think about that person, all right? This is a really good one too. Objections. Why do most ideal clients, right, who deserve, who whatever they desire, fail to get the result? Why? If you know that, you can use that in your content. Some other prompts you can use, right? What types of courses could appeal to that person? What are their limiting beliefs? When you can identify this, and I think this is where messaging gets a lot easier, is because you can be like, right, they are struggling with this. We get so tied in and so close to our own stuff that we often forget it, right? So then this way, we're asking, hey, why are they struggling? What's their problem? Like, what's their brain telling them? And then you can combat that in your marketing. So take a screenshot of this one too, right? I work with who? What are their platforms that are most likely that they're going to be on? Helpful things, all right? Now, ChatGPT, it's not actually connected to the internet in a way that it isn't, it doesn't have 2023, 2024. It's not going to have recent data, but it's going to have some good enough stuff, which is why, again, you're not just going to take the whole content plan and copy it to a T. You need to still know your person. But when you're in the dream phase, you can use the AI to give you ideas of what should your course be about? What should that ebook be? What should my Facebook posts be, my Instagram, my TikTok, etc. Now, here are some prompts. Again, take a copy, a screenshot on how to create content. This is going to help you, right? Like, what are some tips that as an expert in, like what you are, can give that person about topic or pain point? Because so often we get so close to our own stuff that we forget, right? Here's a great one, the last one. The main benefit of my program for my ideal clients is whatever it is. Give me 10 fears that my ideal client might have with this. You can then talk about that on your social. And if you're letting it come up on ChatGPT, you can just copy it into Trello, copy it into a doc, make it easy for you. Here are some more about creating content, right? What are trending topics, right, in my industry? Can you give me some engaging questions or polls that I can ask? What's some behind the scenes content that they would actually care about? Upcoming holiday events, or can I have some inspirational messages that would resonate with my brand's values of, and you put the values in. And this is where you have to say, does this work or not? This is where you have to tweak based on what you need and what doesn't work for you, okay? So go into ChatGPT. I'm going to switch over. And inside your new stuff, let's say we'll make our new chat again. Type them in, see what it says, right? And you can even, I haven't primed this one, but we can say like, hey, what did I say before? I am an online coach who helps entrepreneurs grow their Instagram account following, right? Let's pretend that's you, right? What are, please give me 10 Instagram story topics that would help me connect with them, connect with my audience. All right. So see how it's giving you the ideas. Let's see what comes up. And here you go. You can use these however you want to use them. It's giving you tips. It's giving you ideas. And again, it's not going to answer every question. What it's going to do is it's going to help you have to think less. All right. Now we're going to talk about how to use AI for my learn phase. Learning is so important because we don't know what we don't know until we get started. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, but you don't know all the steps. So how do you know what you want to learn? You don't until you get started. So if you ask AI, it could give you some ideas so you can make a learning plan. You might want to say, I want to write a book this year, but I don't know all the things I need to learn. So what if I ask AI to help me? Here's some prompts that you can screenshot. I'm an expert on, right? I am a whatever you are. This is when I say expert status, like whatever it is you do. I'm productivity coach for work at home moms, right? What are the key market research techniques and tools I need to understand my audience better? This is going to tell you, here's some areas that you might want to go. Hey, I don't know anything about SEO, right? I don't know anything about podcast search engines. I might want to learn it. What are financial skills and strategies I need? What are the latest digital marketing strategies, right? You're going to see this. It might come up with something. Instagram Threads came out in 2023. You might want to decide you want to learn for Instagram Threads. You can also ask them as a expert role status, whatever you do, how can I improve my sales skills, right? It might come up with some messaging things or things you might want to learn. And all you're going to ask yourself is this something that fits into my learning plan? Is this something I need to learn about? How can I effectively develop or launch, right? This is who I am. This is who I help. And this is what I help them with. So maybe they say webinars. Maybe they say paid challenges. You might want to look into that. Time management techniques. You might want to ask about leadership skills. You might want to ask just about keeping yourself organized. It'll give you some ideas. Again, take a screenshot of this. The goal here is to use the prompts to just think through, I don't even know what I need to learn yet. You can ask it, what are the steps I need to start a YouTube channel? And it'll give you all the steps. And we're going to talk about that in the next section. But based on those steps, you can then say, oh, I know I need to learn these things. I need to go find a course or a YouTube channel or a podcast on it. Now, our next phase is called plan. Planning is my favorite stage, but a lot of us get stuck in it. Planning can be so easy when you use ChatGPT because what planning is going to do is help you set up your standard operating procedures, your workflows, your batches, all of the tasks that you actually need to do. So here are some prompts we're going to start with. Take a screenshot of goals, things that you can ask the AI to help you make a really great vision. What are some tasks that I should be doing once a year? And you can see on here, I've got yearly, quarterly, monthly, because there are things that you should be doing once a year. Changing your disclosure page, updating your privacy policies. You might need to send W-9s to your any affiliates that you have, right? Things like that. But there might be things you need to do quarterly or monthly. You can ask it, what are the monthly metrics that might be important? Like, this is what I do. What should I be tracking? What are some tasks I should be doing every month administratively? You can even get specific and say, what are tasks that I should be completing every month for social media in my business, for my podcast in my business, right? These are really important things because it's going to allow you to plan out goals appropriately. And again, this goes back to learn. You don't know what you don't know. It's going to allow you to then say, hey, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing once a year. Now I can kind of get a better understanding. Now, I want to talk a little bit about standard operating procedures. And if you're newer in the business, like a lot of the people I work with, you might not even know what these are or what you need. This is basically the manual for your business. You want to create these from the beginning. This is the step-by-step workflow of everything in your business. And trust me when I say that having SOPs in our business lets everything run smoother. We have done a similar launch multiple times. Launch becomes easier every time you do it because you get smoother. I can hand my SOP over to someone on my team and they can do it without me. When a podcast episode goes up, we know the steps. So look through this list here. It's obviously not comprehensive, but it's got a lot of really good ideas. Do you know the steps for employee onboarding in your business? Client onboarding. Somebody buys from you. Then what happens? Do you know what your blog workflow process is when you have a launch or a summit or an event? Do you have a data SOP? If you don't, these might be ones that you want to create. Now, I don't feel like you need to create every single one right away, but you might want to kind of go through and create the ones that are most relevant to you as you go. Just a pro tip on this, we always use the free software Loom, LOOM.com. You can screen record as you talk through yourself doing it and create them, and then you can get a transcript of what you're doing. So how do you use the AI in that? You just ask it. I want to create a standard operating procedure for my business in whatever area it is. Please write an outline for me. All right, so I want to show you this. Let's use this prompt here. I'm going to copy it over, okay? ChatGPT is going to help you get started, right? So let's say I want to create a standard for my business and for we'll say my podcast, for my podcast. Please write an outline for me, the steps to complete this. All right, let's see what we get. And what ChatGPT is going to give me is all the steps to creating a podcast. And what you now can do is take these and turn these into a workflow. You can take these and turn these into your vision. So when it's time to sit down and work, you know today is I need to brainstorm out podcast titles. Tomorrow, I need to outline them, right? Now, and you might not do every one of these steps. Now I need to do record. I need to do the interview. I need to make the images. It's all here for you. So this is so good if you're in the beginning of your business and you just don't know your steps yet, okay? I want to create a workflow. So let's, this one's even more specific. So you could do it for a big project, but let's try a blog. I want to create a workflow for my blog posts. In what order should I complete tasks to get one blog post completed? And again, you just need to go through and read it and get the workflow, and it makes it for you. Then you can take something like this, you can copy it into something like a Trello board where, we have a workflow method. This is a different board that I use, but you can have the workflow going and know what you're doing. It's going to keep you organized, okay? Now, we're not going to really talk because this is such a fast presentation on the AI for do, but the do is the day-to-day, right? It's your, you take it and you're making your schedule and you're going. But if you don't spend the time in dreaming, in learning, in planning, when you get to do, you're going to feel stuck. So I recommend that you go through this process, you use these prompts to make a system. what I just showed you is a system. It's a system for organizing any project. If you have a launch coming up, if you're making a new freebie, if you're getting a podcast episode, go through these steps, use the AI, keep yourself organized, work smarter and not harder. And we covered a lot. So a couple things you're going to want to map out in this upcoming week. Set up a place to keep your ChatGPT organized, whether it's Trello or a doc. I want you to spend time using the prompts and researching, but 15 minutes. You're going to put on a timer. If you don't put on a timer, you're going to get super sucked in. And again, just remember, this is not replacing your brain. This is assisting your brain. It is just an assistant. It's just part of your flow. It is just part of your process, and it is a tool. I'd love to connect more. You can come over to my podcast, The Purpose Driven Mom Show. We're also over on YouTube. You can search Purpose Driven Mom, my Instagram here. And if you want to learn more about my book or just get a free workbook that accompanies the book, go to the15minuteformula.com/free. That's going to link over to a workbook that you get absolutely free. And it also will link to Amazon, Barnes & Noble if you want to come buy the book and learn more of these strategies. Would love to connect with you more. DM me if you watch this today over on Instagram. Ask me your questions. Again, this is just one tool that I like to teach new business owners how to use in a systemized way. Not a get sucked down the rabbit hole, but it's all about the system.